Hi everyone, welcome to another episode by Poor Man Gamer. As you can imagine, the last champions here where they capped it at level 9 is also one of my favorite champions that I've ever ran. Championship Blitz, I don't know what it's called. I think it was just champions this time. I was able to go 11 and 4. Here I'm going to show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly with a basic GDI deck that I've been using. This is a pure speed, aggressive deck. I don't rely on any heavy tech lab units. The reason is because I don't have any with this account. Right, I wanted to try in two different ways. So this is the ugly. I'm going to start off with one of the ugliest matches I've ever done. Rather than scouting first, I made a huge mistake on this map to build my harvester right in the beginning, especially with a level 8 harvester that is not upgraded whatsoever. There was nowhere for my harvester to run. He body blocked me really well there with the, what do you call it? With the cyber wheels, right? And I made a massive critical mistake here of my bikes running around in circles, not firing off a single shot. Now what I should have done here was, excuse me, aggressively pursue him to see what he has. But I played it too conservatively, and what ended up happening was he was able to roll out a charged up freaking Giga Cannon. So because of that, I'm pretty much dead in the waters, right? I'm trying to wait until that charge wears out just a little bit. So there's my opportunity. But if I were to rush in, because I only have bikes right now, I don't have strong enough units to take him on. So I try to roll out a Banshee, but he smartly rolls out anti-air. And as you're going to see here, that charged up Giga Cannon pretty much just wipes me out. And the reason I'm speeding up is because there's nothing to watch for the rest of this game. He's going to try to pressure me, right? Obviously, his freaking Giga Cannon is going to blow up everything I send his way. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm going to lose this game. Right, that was the ugly. So on this tiny map, always scout. I did not follow my own advice. Huge mistake. Well done, guy in Korea, right? A guy who speaks Korean. Very well done. I'm going to show you now the bad, where even though I lost, right, it should have been a little closer than it was. I'll show you where I made a critical mistake right off the beginning of the game. Not 100% my fault. I'll say 70% my fault. The mouse that I'm using on my computer, it wasn't as functional as I was hoping it would be, and I wasn't able to click to where I wanted to go. So here I finally scout, which I should do. Right, so there's the scouting. I back off the missile squad. I back off because he's got a level 9 maxed out missile squad. I only got level 8. I'm trying my best to go 2-on-1. So there it is. I do see his cyber wheels. I immediately rush up to try to attack his cyber wheels, but as you can see here, I ran the long way around. Okay, and that was my mistake. Rather than engaging his missile squad, like I should have done, I should have been more aggressive, right? I should have tried to take out those stupid what do you call those? MG squads, right? And then what I should have done now, knowing that my initial attack was not successful. See my cyber wheel there? That hesitation, that's what got me killed. And instead of going after that near dead unit, I decided to get fancy and roll out flame troops instead. Instead of rolling out more cyber wheels, I should have just been spamming cyber wheels at this stage. And instead of just letting it die off, I left a single tiny weak troop alive. I do see that he had a double harvester, and that got me off to a really bad start, right? So a couple mistakes right there. That's why I call this game the ugly. See that? Should not have let my troops stay alive. Should just let it die off. So even though I am able to pressure his harvester on the bottom, I'm able to steal one. Right, here I'm going to be able to steal a missile. The problem with this deck is I should have complemented my flame troop with the cyber wheel just to force it out there and do more damage. But instead, all I can do right now is just keep spamming flame troops. It's a mistake on my part. Even though I steal this first missile, he's got a huge economic advantage. It was so costly to get rid of his MG squads, right? And at this stage of the game, because I don't have a double harvester, it's a little too late to roll it out now. I'm trying my best to try to recover in this match, right? My flame troops is my only counter against his zone troopers. He drops a iron cannon really well timed here. Not much I could have really done. I should have backed up my flame troops even more, right? I am doing everything I can to try to pressure him and try to get this match back. Should have moved my flame troops up right there and then instead of hesitating. right? Like, where am I going with my Scorpion tank? Nowhere, right? Should have pressured him earlier. I allowed him to micro his unit away. And as you can see here, I try to prolong this match as much as possible. As you can see, it is not in my favor right now. Making a mistake of engaging that Titan, what I should have done, again, was just use my missile squad, or a Banshee in this case. Too little too late. I know I'm going to lose his missile. So here's something really interesting. I see his Disruptor now. He's got a great balance of units. But because the Titan is so slow, I'm using his own units to body block him, right? Because his units, they don't do a lot of damage against tanks. So I do a little song and dance, and I'm doing the best I can. My Scorpion tank is targeting the wrong Harvester. I should have kept pressuring that Harvester to give myself a big economic jump so that I can go ahead and win this, and give myself a chance to win this missile. While that Wolverine is on the bottom, I should have moved my Banshee down to engage his Titan and try to do some more chip damage against him. I didn't. My Scorpion tank did not attack that Wolverine as I should have. Right? It's too little too late. Should have rushed down my Banshee right away. I did not. This is why I call this game the bad. I had a chance, and you're going to see here very quickly, I'm a little discombobulated, right? I am not playing well at all, and I am going to lose this match. As much as I try to prolong it, with that Titan level 9 out there and all those Zone Troopers, I never really stood much of a chance, right? So that was on me. That was the bad. Night 7. If I play you again, I promise the next game will be a lot closer. You got lucky on this one, boy. No, just be a little cocky, not too cocky, right? And then I'm going to show you guys here the better matches. So here I'm on the left-hand side. I'm essentially playing my twin. On the right, there's a whole bunch of micro, and it's really to settle this debate. When I call it the good, the bad, the ugly, is a lot of these championship matches. Some people say, should you go double Harvester and go heavy units? Should you go with the speed acro deck? I play both, and truthfully speaking, both can get you a win. It really just depends on how you play in your matchup. So there I am on the right hand side. I'm gonna open with a Cyber Wheel. I'm just doing some chip damage because he's not doing anything with his Cyber Wheel. So I'm gonna slow it down here. Right, here's a great way to preserve your bike. A lot of people, when they send down their bike, they're gonna just leave it there. After I shot him, I actually backed off, and the reason is because I don't want to lose my bike, and I don't know why he didn't corner me with his Cyber Wheel. That allowed me to get another free shot on his Cyber Wheel, and allow my bike to back off one more. So now my bike has gotten off a total of 2 shots on for free, without taking any damage. Another new mistake. Should have moved my Scorpion tank a little closer to my bike, so that I can engage his bike earlier, but I didn't. So I allowed my bike to take another shot, and now I've got a weak bike, and I smartened up because this is after I suffered some big defeats, and I wanted to get at least 10 wins. I was able to get 11. I rolled my weakened Cyber Wheel to, bike to the top to engage his Cyber Wheel, and here I do see that he's got a bunch of laser squads coming out, so I immediately sent out my flame troops to engage his missile squad. I'm keeping my flame troop there just to hold the tile, and the reason is because that third tile is so close to my own base, it's actually very easy for me to send out my own flame squad. I go ahead and do so, right? I do see he's going to open with his drill pod, but fortunately I was able to get this missile before he could hop on all 3. I leave my tank there because, you know, there's no chance of it living anyway. And again, I try to play it smart here, right? I could rush down to his Harvester blindly, but seeing a tank and a bike, I actually set up my Flame Squad, and I try to hide behind my Flame Squad. And as you can see, it's actually pretty effective. My Flame Squad took a shot from the bike. His Scorpion tank is engaging my Flame Troop, right? Against a pro-level player, these are the kind of mistakes that do not happen, right? But not everyone is a pro player, and the key of doing this is to try to improve every step of the way, right? Do everything that those high-level pro players would do. By successfully hiding behind my Flame Squads, I was able to survive that entire encounter without suffering a single casualty. My Flame Troop is still alive. I go ahead and send my Flame Troop down so I can go ahead and hide my Scorpion tank behind it, hoping to sneak in another shot, right? I do see his Banshee now. It's not the end of the world, right? I go ahead and send my Flame Squad out. I try to get my Scorpion tank to do something useful, but I mean, it had so little health by this stage of the game, I wasn't able to do anything with it. I back up my other Scorpion tank, and I use my laser squad to engage his Banshee. I set up my own Banshee just because he's got a little bit more speed. I do see that he's got his Rifleman, and now he's trying to stand on all 3 tiles. I understand what he's trying to do. I set my tank out there just to kind of cause a distraction because of all his troops. I wanted to see what position he's going to get himself into. I go ahead and want my Flame Troop and a Cyber Wheel because it allows me to engage depending on matchup a little bit better. Flame Squad against a Cyber Wheel is not a good matchup in my favor, but fortunately that's why I have a Banshee. I go ahead and use my Banshee to body block his Flame Troop to make him run the long way around. So then that way, by the time he gets to the very top tile, I already roasted him and he's pretty much dead. I open my Seth Dropod on the top tile. I go ahead and move my Flame Troop to the middle tile just in case I don't capture it and my Flame Troop dies. And I was able to get this win. So in this case, with a little bit better micro, the opponent was a little bit weaker, not as skilled as the previous two, to be honest with you. Right, I was able to pick up a win. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one more match. I believe it was against... Here we go. Knights Templar.
Establishing battlefield control.
Attic from Knights Templar. So he is one of those decks that relies very heavily on the Temple of Nod. It kind of backfires against him, and you're going to quickly see why. I open with a Harvester just as he does, and I open with a Cyber Wheel. This map's a lot bigger, so opening with a Harvester first is not instant death. I go ahead and engage his Laser Squad. I do get up to a bad start here. I'll show you why. Look, bad micro all the way around. I had no reason to set my Cyber Wheel to where it was and just let it die, because obviously in one-on-one, Cyber Wheels lose every time, especially when you're lower level. It's not until now I smarten up a little bit and I back off my Cyber Wheel and I want my Flame Troop. This is something I should have done earlier, and again, what was my Cyber Wheel doing? Nothing, right? It's just dying for no reason. So remember, at this stage of the game, I do not realize that he's got... Okay, so a couple of things. One, I don't know that he had a double Harvester. Right, so that's problem number one. Problem number two, I have not been able to gain an economic advantage whatsoever with my Cyber Wheels. Because of that, I've actually fallen behind quite a bit, even though I'm able to roll out a tank. Right, I finally open up with my Scorpion tank. Rather than blindly engaging his Harvester, I go ahead and just do what chip damage I can. I'm trying to stay away from his Basilisk because there's a pretty strong unit. So I go ahead and back it off. I roll out my Banshee instead. I'm rolling out my Scorpion tank. I'm not as concerned about his Basilisk doing much damage against my Flame Troops. He should have moved it up one more tile. Don't know why he didn't. And you're going to quickly see why. Don't rely too much on heavy Tech Lab units. So now he's got a Cyber Wheel. I know he's got a Banshee, sorry, Harvester on the bottom. I move my Banshee there. I do see his Cyborg. I quickly use my Flame Troops to engage his Cyborg. I don't back off my Flame Troops because it basically forms a wall around that Harvester, so I can go ahead and get it. I do see his Flame Tank, and this is what I mean by heavy over-reliance on Tech Lab units. He's running all his infantry to the top, but because I moved my Harvester to the bottom, he's not doing any damage against me, right? And again, his Flame Troop is, his Flame Tank is so obsessed with going after my Flame Troopers that it allows me to basically refresh my deck because I was able to blow up one Harvester. So now I can roll out all the units I need to counter whatever it is that he had on the map. I wipe out his missile squads. I keep my Scorpion tank there to keep them engaged until my Flame Troops can get in the way. So there he goes. Down he goes. He's got another Basilisk. So I go ahead and roll out my Banshee, right? And this is what I mean by a complete and over-reliance on heavy Tech Lab units. Banshee's a great unit, and I'm guessing this guy is so used to crushing opponents with just pure power Banshees that that's his playstyle, but it doesn't work, right? And that's really my conclusion is, as usual, it's not so much the deck now. The deck does make a difference, but the playstyle and how you manage your troops, it's a lot more important. I was able to go 11-4. I had a great time with this championship run, and EA, if you're listening, I hope you keep future championship runs just like this so that everyone has a chance to win. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful day. Cheers.